Give me what I want. Give me what I want. You know what I want. Give me what I want, or I'm going to continue to hurt people you love. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. You know what I want. You just don't want to give it to me. Give it to me. Give me what I want.
We're going to give you what you want.
That's not what I want.
What's up? What's up? Yep, second episode of Collision just ended. AEW Collision just ended 10 minutes ago. And what an ending. An ending to Collision in Toronto. Just ahead of Forbidden Door. Forbidden Door. And what a reaction to the crowd. My God, what a crowd reaction in the main event. That's crazy. I gotta say, that was a pretty crazy crowd reaction in the main event. And we're gonna get to that. I wanna know if Degrassi, my friend Degrassi's here. Degrassi, are you in the chat? Because I know you watched it. But okay. But wow, what a main event. The Bullet Club, it looks like officially the Guns are part of the Bullet Club Gold. Jordan J. White and Juice Robinson. All right. So, let's kick it off. Let's kick off the show from beginning to end. From beginning to end, guys. We had, well, we did not open up the show with a match tonight. We opened up with an interview, kind of. You got my boy Tony Schiavone in the ring to call out Sting and Darby Allin to announce who the third partner for the Forbidden Door match is going to be. Instead, we hear Chris Jericho's music hit. And Minoru Suzuki comes out with Chris Jericho. No Sammy Guevara, just Jericho and Minoru Suzuki. Jericho sits on the crowd saying, "I'm not from Toronto, I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot." Stuff like that. Demanding who the third person is. Says Tony Schiavone. Schiavone, you know who the third person is. Threatening Tony Schiavone with the bat. You hear Sting's music hit. And Darby Allin comes out with them. Darby Allin tells Chris to shut up and tells Chris, "This is somebody you know from way back who defeated you at the Tokyo Dome." And Sting whispered in Jericho's ear. You could tell by the face reaction of Jericho that he was shocked. And then you hear familiar, if you know Japan music, familiar music hit. Tranquilo. Then making his way is Naito, Tyson Naito, who Jericho did wrestle at the Tokyo Dome a few years back. Naito with with his attire, from blowing the tire, flashy attire. Doesn't say anything. Makes his way down to the ring. And it's like Jericho sees a ghost. And Naito, Tetsuya Naito, is going to be the partner of Darby Allin and Sting. He's going to face Jericho, Minoru Suzuki, and Sammy Guevara at Forbidden Door tomorrow in Toronto. That's the opening segment, the kickoff. The kickoff. Collision. Sorry. Yeah. So there we go. Segment to kick off Collision. All right. So let's move on. Let's move on. To the second match. The second match featuring Brody King and Andrade Aldigo. I think that's yeah. Okay. Oh no! The second match is not that. The second match is Tanahashi, who is challenging MJF for the title. The title. MJF's title at Forbidden Door. Tanahashi is going to face Swerve Scott from the Embassy in a match on AEW Collision. This match is actually very good. Both put on a tremendous match. Tanahashi is over 40 years old, and I thought he did a pretty good job for a solid match for his age against somebody younger than him, obviously. Tanahashi got to win here with the splash. It was pretty fun stuff with the air guitar stuff, which is Tanahashi's taunt. What he likes to do is with the air guitar, right? I thought it was fun. Yeah, Tanahashi gets to win here with this finishing move, the splash, swing blades. He does the Dragon School, all that stuff. The splash is the one that finishes off Swerve Scott of the Embassy. Okay, then Tanahashi is celebrating. We get MJF's music hits, but he doesn't come out. Instead, we get him on the Tron, or on the stage Tron, obviously recorded. I don't know. He's probably maybe in his hotel room, or I don't know where he is, but he made a demand that he talked to Tony Khan, and he made them demand that their match should be first on the main card. So once the pay-per-view goes live at 8 p.m. Eastern time, their match is first because he wants to get out of Canada as quick as he came in, basically. That's why, yeah. So it's an AEW World Championship match. It's gonna be the first match live on the pay-per-view. Obviously, there's the buy-in / pre-show, but that doesn't count. So first match, it's gonna be the AEW Championship match between Tanahashi and MJF, Maxwell Jacob Freeman. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next match. This match featured Brody King, accompanied by Julia Hart, the Witch, to take on Andrade, right? And Andrade is going through, I guess, the House of Black faction right now. He defeated Buddy Murphy last week, who's a member of the House of Black. Right? He's a member of House of Black. And this match is actually really good too, between him and Brody King. Moonsault over the place, power, speed, everything was involved. We got that moonsault. Julia Hart had Andrade's mask. The mask he comes out down to the ring with. He looked like he struggled to put Brody King in a figure 8. But as he had him, so he managed to get him to figure 8. What happened is Buddy Murphy or Buddy Matthews came running in and hit Andrade. So the match ended DQ. Andrade won the match with a DQ, and they started a beatdown on both Brody King and Buddy Matthews. Started a beatdown on Andrade. They gave him a double team finishing move, like a pile driver, like on a shoulder into a pile driver, and then on screen you see the leader of the House of Black, Malachi Black, just not saying anything about just him looking on, sinister, all sinister like that, the sinister look. And yeah, so it looks like Andrade is gonna eventually gonna have to get through these two guys to Malachi Black. It's an angle that's obviously continuing between the two, right? Pretty good. So after that, after that, hometown boy Christian Cage comes out with Luchasaurus holding up the TNT title. Basically, he ran down Toronto and the sports aspect of Toronto. The Leafs are a bunch of Leafs. Leafs is the first time Leafs made it past the first round in 20 years, and he's choked in the second round. Stuff like that. Run down Toronto. Says Toronto's a bunch of losers. There's a bunch of losers. Loser City. And he said, "Oh yeah, the only saving grace was the Raptors winning the championship in 2019." But that's all because of Kyle Leonard. And Christian Cage said he's a friend of Kyle Leonard. And he said Kyle Leonard took his ball, went back to LA. And Los Angeles. And I'm like, when we went to the Kyle Leonard route to piss off, like, nobody, the Raptor fans weren't. The fans in the crowd weren't booing that because they know the situation with Kyle Leonard. I know, I can't believe I'm making this a basketball thing, but they know what the Kyle Leonard's tenure in LA with the Clippers hurt more than 50% of the time. Doesn't play. Gets paid a lot of money. Doesn't play. I'll tell you, we as Raptor fans, we're not upset about it. We're not upset with Kyle Leonard being in LA because of the Clippers, because he's not doing much for the Clippers anyway. This is it. So, but yeah, nobody interrupted him. He technically isn't the TNT champion. Luchasaurus is a TNT champion. You know, I did have a little suspicion when he went on that turnbuckle. Okay, ran that turnbuckle, and so that Luchasaurus could put him on his shoulders. I thought Luchasaurus was gonna pull a Batista, like what Evolution did to Randy Orton back in 2004, not 2024. I thought something like that may happen, but did not happen. So they did a preview for Kojima versus CM Punk. Apparently, Kojima was Ring of Honor 20 years ago. Punk was the Ring of Honor 20 years ago. This is a match 20 years in the making. This is the first round of the Owen Hart tournament. That's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. So match 3, Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament match to Willie Nightingale and Nyla Rose with Marina Shafir. Will Nightingale? I didn't think Nightingale was going to get the win here. I thought I thought she would lose by being distracted by Saraya, Tony Storm, or Ruby Soho that would come out to distract her and cost her the match. But no, she did get the win here over Nyla Rose. So she's advancing to the next round in the Owen Hart tournament, the semifinals. And I believe they said on the program, whoever wins this match will face Athena or Billy Starks. Whoever wins the match tomorrow. After the match, you saw Saraya, Tony Storm, who is the women's champion, and Ruby Soho circle Willie Nightingale around the ring, one on each side, except for where the entrance is. And then the Sky Blues music hit, and Sky Blue ran down the ring with a steel chair to make sure to help out Willie Nightingale so she doesn't get attacked by the 3. They're building up something very high with Sky Blue here, obviously. Okay. Yeah, I knew you do. I know you do. I know you would. I know you would, man. You would love Roman wrestling, don't you? Okay. Yeah, they call the Outcasts. That's what they call those 3. We got the 4th match is Power Hobbs versus this guy named Jeremy Prophet. Never heard of him. Bobby Hobbs basically won the match in a squash match. They assert his dominance. That's pretty much it. Degrassi, you want? You're Degrassi, you one horny guy. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that fourth match is a pretty squash match. Okay. Well, you're the opposite of Tony. Tony hates women wrestling. Okay, all right. All right. Let's move on. Let's move on. Now, yeah, now it's the main event. Bullet Club Gold consists of Jay Wright and Juice Robinson. And now Colton and Austin Gunn. We think they're Bullet Club, but they haven't said they're Bullet Club. We got the answer by the end of the night, obviously, and we'll get to that. They take on the team of Absolute Ricky Starks, FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dex Harwood, and CM Punk. And let me tell you, crowd throughout this whole match was loud. They made you heard them. They were loud, man. Throughout the whole match. That match was electric. Oh man, Degrassi. I'm interested in I want to know why. I want to hear this story. I'm more interested in this than I'm talking about now. Wait a minute. You had 2 girlfriends? Or did you have 2? Did you have 2 girlfriends at the same time? Because you didn't say X in any of them. Were they fighting over you? Like, I want Degrassi. No, he's mine. That's the movie right there. That's actually pretty funny. That's really, really funny. Where was it? And yeah, so the crowd for this match, there was like, they were cheering a lot for Jay White, and there was mixed reaction for CM Punk. There was a big mixed reaction for CM Punk. There was cheers for CM Punk, and there were boos for CM Punk. Were they fighting over you? Yeah, they were fighting over you, right? So yeah, there was like mixed reactions with the crowd with CM Punk and during the match. There were boos and there were cheers. There was, I mean, that match, the crowd for that match was electric. It was definitely a mixed reaction. Total contrast to the reaction CM Punk got at the premiere episode of Collision. That's because the premiere episode was in Chicago and CM Punk is from Chicago. So of course there's gonna be no boost for CM Punk. And of course there's gonna be some boost for CM Punk in Toronto because he has problems with the Elite and Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega's Canadian also. And yeah, even though Kenny Omega's not a Toronto, he is a Canadian. But yeah. By the way, when Jericho said, "I'm not from Toronto, I'm from Winnipeg," no reaction from the crowd. Sounds like a sitcom in the making. And I'm like, when Jericho said, "I'm from Winnipeg, not Toronto," I'm like, yeah, but there's a few hockey players in the NHL right now that want out of Winnipeg. Winnipeg is not exact. Let me tell you something in the NHL. Let me just go off a tangent here. Winnipeg, there's 2 cities in the NHL that there's 2 cities in Canada that the players don't want to play in, that don't want to really live in. I'll tell you, one is Winnipeg, because Winnipeg, it gets dark very quick and there's really nothing to do there. And the other is Calgary, because Calgary, it's cold all the time, and it's not Edmonton. Edmonton, there's things to do, but Calgary, they all want out. They want out of Calgary or Edmonton. Those are 2 cities the NHL players really want out of. Maybe Ottawa too. Ottawa sometimes. Sometimes with Ottawa. But hey, Anthony. So where was I? Yeah, this crowd for this match, man, it was very decisive of CM Punk. CM Punk, yeah, he gains a lot of traction, a lot of either boos or cheers. This guy, man, he is something, right? He is he's either a heat magnet at times or not. It's crazy, CM Punk. And I knew because Toronto is a very smart, strong, well educated wrestling town. We're not one of these cities that are in the south, in the middle of nowhere, where we don't know anything and don't cheer or boo or like just sit there and like don't react or anything. Toronto is very knowledgeable. It's one of those cities where it's this wrestlers just love to wrestle in Toronto. And it's only a few cities in the States. I'll tell you, there's only a few cities in the States where you get reactions like this. Okay? Toronto's definitely one of them. New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, Boston. Let me tell you from what I know from sports. And maybe DeGrasse could back me up on this at times. Or Anthony. The eastern cities in the US or Canada, especially the US and some Canada like Toronto, we're a lot more loud. We're a lot more louder than, let's say, southern/western cities. Okay? I include Chicago not in the western. I include Chicago, even though Chicago is not an eastern city, they're a pretty loud city. And what I mean like this, the markets like Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Chicago, those markets, Toronto, right? We're much louder than most of these. I would say Dallas is up there for a western city. Like Dallas is definitely up there, maybe Houston. It's just that it's the eastern kind of thing. You know how they say like New Yorkers are in your face kind of people. Let me tell you something. It's an eastern thing though in the US. Yeah. Are you gonna watch more AEW? But yeah, this main event was crazy. So what happened here? Surprisingly, the Bullet Club did get the win here. Bullet Club Gold. At the end of the match, it was official that the Guns have joined the Bullet Club. The son of badass Billy Guns, the sons of badass Billy Guns, are now part of Bullet Club Gold, and that's the end of the show where CM Punk, Ricky Starks, and FTR looked on with the faction Bullet Club Gold getting bigger, getting new members. Oh really? When? Yeah, well, that's cool. That's cool, man. And hey, you know what I like about you, Degrassi? You're in the 50s and you're appreciating accepting AEW. I like that, Degrassi. Because you're not all old school. You're not old. I mean, you accept new school stuff. I like that. This is Degrassi. Let's be honest, Anthony. This is the closest. This is the closest. This is the promotion as rivaling WWE. This is WCW. Okay. WWE was the top of the game for 20 years. Since WCW folded, WWE was not a monopoly, but there was no other company in competition with it. This is the AEW is legit competition to WWE. And it's growing and it's growing and growing. How? It is. And it is. And you know what it does, right? You know what it does? In wrestling, competition makes the product better, right? Makes it WCW, I'll say this before I end this stream. WCW, when it got really hot, it forced Vince McMahon to change. To change the way how audiences were seeing his wrestling. Getting away from the kid, silly gimmick stuff. You know, all those gimmicks where you had people as like they had a job. You know, a bunch of gimmicks. A bunch of wrestlers had like a side job. You had like a plumber. A guy. A gimmick was a plumber. Another guy was like a garbage man. Dude, you know these stupid gimmicks in the '90s that fans thought were stupid, and WCW forced WWE to change. It changed the way their way because they were losing the wars to WCW. They were changing. They had to go. They had to change. They had to change their style of wrestling. They had to get a lot more adult and less PG. Yeah, you're like that. You're very easygoing. You're not. I'll say this to Grassy. You know you're not a boomer. The way you are, the way you act, you don't act like a boomer. Now, it was a good show. Now we got Forbidden Door the next day, the pay-per-view. They added some matches, so I was not able to give my predictions on the matches they added because they added it during this Collision show. So I'm not gonna give you my predictions. But yeah. But this is a good show overall. I enjoyed it. The main event, it's a crowd for that. Man, the crowd was all for that main event. I'll tell you that. And I'm telling you, next week, WWE has Money in the Bank in England, and Logan Paul is in the match, and nobody likes Logan Paul. But yeah, the guys are gonna go to the AEW show in Nashville because I know you plan to go. You plan to go to see Dynamite in Nashville in August, I think, and it'll be a good show. Let me tell you something, Degrassi. I've never been to an AEW show until tomorrow. It's a different crowd than a WWE show. It's a lot more hardcore. It's a lot more hardcore. And it's a total different crowd. And I'll say this. AEW fans, they're a lot more knowledgeable about the wrestling industry than WWE fans. Because WWE fans have more of there's hardcore WWE fans, but WWE fans is more of a general audience thing, right? You know how we talk about like Marvel MCU, right? MCU, I guess, has a lot of fans, but I bet you majority of the fans are not hardcore Marvel fans. And what I mean by that, they never read the comics or collect toys or action figures. They just see the movies. Maybe they collect toys, but they just see the movies, for example. But a hardcore MCU fan might have read the comics. Like in our community, most of us have read the Marvel comics, right? And we know more about that stuff, right? Stuff like that. That's the difference between WWE fans and AEW fans. Now, WWE fans do have some hardcore fans, but I can tell you, there's a lot more hardcore fans, knowledgeable wrestling fans in the AEW audience than WWE. Okay? And the next step, and AEW is growing, but the next step is to try to get the interest from the general audience into the product. Yes, it's a lot more adult oriented, right? It's a lot more violence. That might scare some kids. There's a lot more swearing. That might scare some kids. They might not say nice things, stuff like that. But hell, the Attitude Era, the most popular era in wrestling, WCW versus WWE, the Attitude Era, some of the worst stuff, some of the worst angles, some of the worst stuff happened that era. I mean, DX's catchphrase is "suck it." You know what that means, right? Stone Cold gave up his middle finger. Guess what? The kids got into it, right? It was into it. Yeah, ECW. Yeah, ECW. I know. Oh, I know. I know how well ECW could get. AEW could get like that. But yeah, so next step for AEW. AEW has a great. Okay, I know you're gonna criticize me for this. Some people might have to hear this, but this is here's the thing. You might shit on Warner Brothers for the DC stuff, but they have done a great job for the growth of AEW. And they don't own AEW. They don't own AEW, but they're very happy with AEW. Okay? They don't own it, but they're very happy. They can easily say, no, we're not going to, our deal with you are done. But they're very happy with AEW. Okay? And that's one of the biggest things that a wrestling company needs to even compete with WWE is to have a major studio backing them up by having a show live on their stations. Okay? Yes. WWE is on USA Network and on Fox. So that helps them a lot. But no other company besides AEW has a major studio backing them up to put a show for everybody to see, for public to see. TNT, TBS, Warner Brothers. And this time, they got people in Warner Brothers as interested in having wrestling on their TV. Unlike back in 2000s, the early 2000s, when Ted Turner sold not WCW, but his company to people that have no interest in WCW. They did not care for it, despite being one of the most profitable, even though it was actually losing money, but compared to other stuff at the time, most profitable companies at the time, no interest. They didn't give a damn about it. And I'll tell you one thing: there's not been no updates, but the Disney rumors about WWE, it's very hot right now. Not them owning it, but it's very hot. New Jack should never been. New Jack, this guy's he's dead now, but this guy was a lunatic. I don't know how this guy was crazy. New Jack, legit insane. And nobody in ECW really liked him. RVD hates New Jack, does not like New Jack, didn't appreciate New Jack at all. Because New Jack will legitimately hurt you, man. He's the type of guy who really would hurt you on purpose. Like he did to that kid. I know that kid lied about his age, obviously. But you know what I'm talking about. The mass transit incident. Is that the mass transit incident? If you remember that. I know the kid lied, but still he shouldn't have done that to the kid. And that kid, and I don't know if it's 100% true, but I believe that kid committed suicide later on because he felt depressed, all that. I'm not. And I know New Jack is dead, but I don't know how New Jack was a complete lunatic. Mm-hmm. I remember that. And I remember the time. I'm gonna finish after this. Who was it? Who was the wrestler that he could have killed? Not the mass transition, but on a scaffold. Uh, what's the wrestler's Grimes? Somebody named Grimes. And New Jack could have like legitimately killed. And that guy fell so high up, and he had to he broke like I don't know like almost everything. I think that New Jack was involved in that match. I just think it's insane. I like wrestling, and I don't mind hardcore stuff, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Where you use like forks, knives, spoons, piece of cutter, certain certain objects that make you bleed, I think that's dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Like I do the butcher stuff. I think it's too much, too much. And I think wrestlers that do that all the time in their matches are not very good wrestlers. Are not very good in the ring. Not very good wrestlers. Oh, Sonny's a piece of shit, though. You have to admit that she's a piece of shit. Oh yeah, and if you want to, the last one that came out this week was about Matt Bourne, Matt Bourne, Doink. You know, the first Doink, and how much of this guy was a head case, Matt Bourne. Oh, ooh, my God, this guy was a head case, Matt Bourne. Oh my God. Yeah, until unfortunately Sonny got ran out of WWE because Sable. When Sonny went to WWE, she was like the girl for a few years until Sable came in. Sable became so popular that made Sonny jealous, and eventually she left, stuff like that. And Sable ruined Mark Merrill's career. Sable, his own damn wife, ruined his career. They're not married anymore. Sable's married to Brock Lesnar, but at that time, Sable ruined Mark Merrill's career, and Sable was not liked backstage either by the wrestling peers. Francine is a good person. I heard Francine is cool. Like Francine was cool now these days. And Sable was suing WWE, right? And she appeared on WCW TV in '99 as her real name Winnie, or whatever, Merrill, whatever her name was at the time. I think was she still married to Mark Merrill at the time? Whatever. But yeah, this is a good show. I appreciate talking about a little bit of past wrestling. I want people to talk about that more. I like talking about retro history, wrestling. It's fun. But yeah, thank you all. Do me a like, share, subscribe, and comment below. Do all that. Uh, Take care. All right. I can take. Yeah. Enjoy Forbidden Door.